Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we had a community stream, so we've got a recap of what was talked about in the community stream. I didn't catch all of it live, but I did hear the recap at the end, got to hear kind of what Joshua said at the end of it, and I tried to dissect the info as best as I can. If you guys think I left anything out, though, feel free to, shout it out in the comments, or if you think there's some mystery stuff, so if you have ideas as to what the mystery stuff is, go ahead and shout it out in the comments. I'm going to give you my thoughts on what they could be. So we are opening up with a Crystal Room support campaign, which is very good. Now, one of my predictions was that they were going to maybe add the Crystal Room bonuses when you finish a room. They did not announce that in this community stream, and it looks like we are going to be able to get enough crystals to like fully max out a room if you're someone that has bought all the crystal packs. So I plan on this month maxing out my red room completely and then starting a new room. And I'm guessing that those rooms will just sit then without getting that bonus until they implement it later, right? But yeah, some very interesting things. So I do like the Crystal Room support campaign. This is awesome. It feels like they're throwing more sparkles at us. So I don't know, now with DOKKAN announcing that they are actually syncing the games, it's like, all right, DFFOO, you got to get on it now. But once again, I do still feel like it feels like we are very, very ahead. We're going to put it this way. I'm looking at stuff that's like supposed to drop in like December. And I'm saying like, yep, it could be coming right now. So like it's kind of crazy. But they're just shoving a lot of sparkles at us. Like it's another thing that's making me think like, yeah, maybe they're trying to catch us up in some way with JP, but who knows, right? So during this support campaign, there are going to be 2 campaign banners. One on September 7th, which is announced. So we'll talk about that. They have a slide for it. And then the September 18th one, they did not. It's a mystery. I'm going to go over some options for that. That's the one where I think there's going to be the most speculation, but I do have some decent ideas as to what it could be. We have the World of Illusions. We have the Carbuncle's Treasure with 100% Magic Pot appearance. That's actually, I don't know that they've ever done that before. So getting the Magic Pot every time, this is a very quick way to grind your weapon and guard orbs. So I would say, normally weapon and guard orbs, co-op is usually the best way to grind those out quickly, and it still might be. But with 100% pot appearances, this might be the fastest way to grind weapon and guard orbs. So if you need those, I would hop in there with a double or triple book, and you're going to get those very quickly. Triple cycle quest rewards, that's very good as well. With 100% cactuar. Okay, guys, I'm telling you this right now. If you are a newer or like fresher account and your characters are not fully leveled up, you want to do it during this event. If you put a double or triple EXP book on, 3 times Psycho Quest rewards, 100% Cactuar appearance, like characters are going to go from level 70 to 90 in one run. So this is a great time that you guys need to be grinding your rank. If you're not fully ranked out and you have a bunch of characters you haven't leveled up, you've got to do it here. It's going to be so freaking fast. So definitely jump in on that if you haven't. Then we have gem bundles. Now this is very interesting. And this banner, I do think has an effect on what I'm thinking for the campaign, because several of these characters are characters I was speculating to be on campaign banners, and because they're here, it makes me wonder if they would be on the campaign banner or not, right? And I'm not really sure how this weapon banner is going to work, because what it is it's a gem bundle, okay? And it's got a guaranteed BT draw ticket and 10 FR tokens. Now, my guess is this thing's going to probably be like $75, right? So it's not going to be accessible to a lot of players. But for those of you that want to spend money, maybe. Now, this BT banner, it looks like it's a special banner. It's a guaranteed BT draw. But I think you don't get to choose which one of the 3. I think you just get one of the 3. I'm not 100% on that. But this is a very unique banner we haven't seen before. But I don't think you can just summon on this with gems, right? And now you also get 10 FR tokens. So what I think this banner is you buy this gem pack, you get a bunch of gems, you get this draw ticket. I think the draw ticket is just going to give you a single BT randomly out of the 3. Could be wrong. And then your 10 FR tokens you can use to buy any FR in the game that was released before this point. So if you think that has value to you, you definitely could go ahead and get that. And then they're going to do another bundle and draw starting on September 11th. And they don't show us what this banner is. But what Joshua is very clear about is if you buy this ticket, it has to be for this banner. You can't buy this ticket and wait for the next draw. They're going to do a separate banner with a separate ticket over there. Okay, and that could feature other characters. Now, there's 2 ways I'm thinking about this. This could either be a sign that these are some of the campaign characters because they want to give players an easy way to maybe get the BT and then they could ticket on the campaign for the FR. Or it could be a sign that they're not going to be on the campaign, and this is a way they're giving you access to these characters because they wanted to do something different on the campaign. And I'm kind of leaning that these characters will not be the campaign characters because of this. I could be wrong, though. We'll see. All right, so a lot to talk about there. Now we've got Mission Quest campaign here. In the Mission Quest, this is like lockout content. We've had this before. I do think this is very fun content. And there's going to be 2 sets of Mission Quest stages. There's going to be a Mission Quest 1, and then there's going to be like a Mission Quest 2. So this is going to be 3 sets of Chaos, Lufenia, and Shinryu fights. This is like what we just had. So they're like kind of rolling into this again, right? We just had something like this currently in the game. So what's going to happen is August 31st, they're going to drop Mission Quest 1. So this is actually going to be the next thing we get because they haven't announced any characters yet. So the next thing we're going to get is Mission Quest 1. And this is just going to be an event. There's not going to be a banner with this, okay? Then September 5th and then September 7th. Now, September 7th, we'll have a campaign draw with it, okay? So it's going to have missions that'll say, like, use certain color characters or use certain weapon types. I think these are fun. It does have lockout across all difficulty, and there will be no boosted characters on this. You can use friends, which I think will help a lot of players out. And then you're going to get more reward with perfect clears. You're going to be able to get extra multi-draw tickets. We're going to get polychromatic sparkles, which are important. Skip tickets, and it looks like 4 stones. So a lot of really good rewards on this if you can complete it, or at least complete as much as you can, right? Then our first character announced. Okay, so actually Queen will be there. So yeah, so Queen will be dropping, and so August 31st, that is our next character. So we have Queen FR. This is one of the characters I was expecting. She was kind of like next in line or very soon to come up. So no surprises here. Returning with Tifa. And Tifa, so what DFFOO's done a very good job of lately is for these characters that come back with like rerun characters without reworks, they've actually changed some of these pairings from JP. There's one I'm going to point out a little bit later. But they've done a good job because some of the original pairings were kind of weak. Where like the non-Echo character or like the rerun character they're bringing back was either a non-Echo character or a character that was just a little bit dated. They've been doing a good job of at least making the rerun character like very good, like desirable characters. Like Tifa is still like a top tier single target DPS. She's still a very good character. So they made this banner like desirable on both fronts because if you want Queen, Queen's going to be a really good new character. But if you don't want Queen, like Tifa is still desirable for players. So I think they did a good job of that. So right here, this is a raid boss beatback challenge with limited time missions, and then there's going to be a single challenge as well. There's going to be some extra tickets you can get there. There is going to be gem and costume bundles, and then gem and weapon gloss bundles, and it looks like there's going to be a weapon gloss for that cool looking sword there. So Queen is getting the rework on board, but Tifa is just a straight rerun. But like I said, they did a good job of picking a character that doesn't need a rework to be really, really good, right? All right. And I'm going to talk about, like, should you pull these characters in a separate video, right? So I'm not going to talk about kits. But September 5th, I'm excited because my boy Kelger is showing up. I've been waiting for this man. I had a pretty good feeling. Now, this dude was originally scheduled for, like, November, right? So the fact that he's coming September 5th, like, yeah, we are getting these characters really early. So, yeah, it is very, very exciting, right? And I feel like we're keeping our pace very quick. So I feel like the games are aligning because the more I look at it, our pacing overall just seems so fast. We're getting, like last month, we got 2 brand new characters, and we literally just got Jill, which was a brand new character, and here, like, what, not even 2 weeks later, we're getting Kelger, which is another brand new character. I would not be surprised by the end of September if we had yet another new character. I actually think signs are pointing to games aligning. The more that we're getting, the more that I keep seeing these community streams, I'm actually starting to lean that way, right? So we'll see. It could be very exciting, but Kelger is going to be ridiculous. He's going to be one of my top characters this month. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. We got some missions there. Co-op Shinryu, I like that because, once again, I get it done once. I can skip ticket and just unload because these will have really good co-op rewards. There's going to be a bunch of BT stuff in there. Machina is returning. And Kelger and Machina FR will be featured on both. I do not believe Machina is getting any type of rework, but he's still a very solid damage dealer you can use, right? All right, so this is the one I wanted to point out here. So this is the first campaign draw that's coming for Mission Quest 1. So this, I believe, is like the third phase of it or whatever. So we got Golbez FR, which this is one that people were kind of waiting on, right? Like, when is Golbez going to get his FR? Well, here it is. So Golbez is coming. We're getting a cool costume. Now, this is an example of them like having a very good choice for the like non-rework character. Originally on JP, Golbez dropped with Renoa. And Renoa right now is not a desirable character. I mean, she was once the best DPS in the game, but she's fallen on hard times, right? Whereas Garnet, I would almost call Garnet a top 3 support character in the game, maybe even top 2, right? To me, the top supports in the game are Aerith, Rose, and Garnet. I think those are like top tier. Now, Iris and Rem, I think, are also in that discussion. But the reason why I rate those 3 so high, I think Aerith is pretty undisputed. Garnet is there because her off turn is so powerful. Like, she's dropping bombs every 4 attacks. Very, very powerful to get the off turn damage on top of the great support. And you guys know how I favor my girl Rosa, but Rosa's FR condition is why I rank her so ridiculously high. But me personally, if you value my opinion, I think those are the top 3 supports in the game. So when I do my poll planning video, I'm going to recommend that players that don't have Garnet, she is an excellent pickup even without a rework. She's very, very good. Definitely make sure, she's almost like a must-have for a box. I really, really like her. So definitely be thinking about that moving forward. Looks like we got a nice little chocobo stick there if you want to get that weapon class, sure. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for that slide. Now we have Mission Quest 2. Okay, now here they're doing the same deal. We're getting 3 sets of fights. When the last set drops, they are dropping a campaign draw, but they don't tell us what this is. So we'll get to that slide later, and I will kind of talk about what my thoughts are for that. Once again, very similar rewards. What Joshua said is each mission quest will have 1,000 polychromatic sparkles, so you're going to get 2,000 sparkles. So it's the equivalent of buying like 2 of the sparkle packs, and you're getting it for free. So that's really awesome. All right, then September 11th, we got the Lenna BT FR. She's another one of the characters I was speculating. I think she's going to be a very desirable character. She's probably, like, her and Kelger are going to be my 2 picks this month, just as like a little bit of a spoiler, but we will do an official poll blending video. I'll talk more about the kits. Noctis coming back as a more recent, like, FR Echo character, good follow-up damage. Noctis is definitely, like, a nice, solid choice here for a character that isn't getting a rework of any kind, right? So very, very good there. This is also a Spiritus fight, so Leviathan Spiritus. I don't think this will be the hardest one, but it's definitely, like, Spiritus fights are always, like, a lot harder typically than Shinryu, so I wouldn't expect it to be a cakewalk, but I don't think I've heard of this one as being, like, you know, really dumb like the Spiritus Tree or some of these other restrictive fights, so I think it should be okay, but we'll see when we get there, right? So yeah, that is what's coming there. Lenna, I'm very excited for that. And then here, they just wanted to throw a bunch of question marks, so there's a lot to dissect here, okay? One is that on September 15th, we're getting a question mark intersecting wills, and then we're going to get a raid boss beatback challenge, and they didn't tell us what the campaign draw is going to be on the other one, right? So we've got like 3 mystery things here, and I've got ideas. I'm going to start with the most confident one. So when they label something as an intersecting wills, it's very easy to break down what this will be. And it's the same way that we figured out that Jill was going to be the intersecting wills on hers. It's because she was just, or it was a lost chapter, I think, for her. But it was because, like, you could look at the schedule and say, oh, this is the next lost chapter. It's probably Jill, right? So we're going to do the same thing here. We look at, like, in JP's timeline, what is the soonest intersecting wills we can find? And it's Enna, Crow, and Noel. So I will say with, like, 95 to 99% probability, this is going to be Enna, Crow, and Noel. So I know a lot of people are excited for those characters, so that would be really, really fun if that's what that is, right? Now, let's talk about this raid challenge here, right? This one's a little bit tricky because when I look at the JP timeline, right? When I look at, like, the next raid event character, it's very deep down the line, and it was Strago and Locke. Strago would be getting pushed up really, really, really early here if it is Strago. Is it possible? Absolutely. Like, this game has been doing crazy, like, time travel things. This would be a pretty big time travel. But sure, could be Strago. Now, the other thing I'm going to throw out here is there's a banner with Cater and Edgar. Now, the thing is that was labeled as a part of a 6-man fight, right? So I would expect that it's probably not Cater, but she's a character I had on my radar for this month. they could decide that maybe they're not going to do that 6-man fight, or they're going to do something different there and put Kelger here. The thing is Kelger was with Edgar. And Edgar, they recently brought back to us. So they may have given us Edgar on that other banner knowing that Kelger was getting pushed back. Or they gave us Edgar because they do want to drop Kelger here, but they want to put somebody else with her. Certainly possible. To be honest, I think it's actually more likely to be Strago and have an insane time travel than Kelger, just because Kelger is tied to a 6-man fight, which I don't think they would skip a 6-man fight. And they wouldn't like just leave that void there where Kelger was supposed to be and put something else. This, it's a little bit different than Oron, right? Where like Oron was tied to a crevasse event. Well, a crevasse isn't something that I don't think that is a standard that they would have had to brought. So we predicted that they were going to throw Oron in when they did, even though it wasn't a crevasse event. It was some other type of unique event, right? Now, maybe they're trying to do something similar here, and they're, once again, replacing that 6-man fight. But the 6-man is, like, pretty standard, so I don't think they're going to just, like, ditch the 6-man. So, yeah, I guess my guess here would be Strago, if I wanted to throw one out. Definitely, I think there's a lot of mystery to this, right, as to what it could be. So let me know in the comments what you think they're going to do on this raid challenge, but I suppose my guess would be Strago. Now, the campaign draw. This is also going to be very tricky and very unpredictable because these campaign draws, one is when they've been bringing expected characters, they've been pairing it with, like, seemingly random characters. Like, so the pairings haven't been very similar, right? Now, if I look at JP's, like, campaign draws, some pairings I noticed was, I think there was a Mog and Zach one that we never got. And there was also a Core and Rex one. Now, I kind of get, like, little light bulbs in my head because if we go back here, right, and we look at this BT banner, who do we see? We see Core and we see Mog. So Core and Rex, that's half of that campaign banner. And we have Mog and Zach, that's half of that campaign banner. So what could this mean? Could it mean that they are actually dropping one of those as the campaign and they want you to be enticed here to get the BT to go with the banner? I don't think that's the case. Because if they're going to put them on a banner, they want you to pull for the BT on the banner. They don't want you to, like, buy this, get the BT for free, and then not summon on the other banner because you already got the BT, right? So what I'm thinking is that maybe they want to smash, like, Zach and Rex together and do, like, a campaign banner with, like, Zach and Rex. And then this is your chance to get Mog and Core, and that's the way that they're going to reintroduce them. I think something like that could be more likely. I believe Squall had a campaign at some point as well that we never got, but they did just do the start dash refresh. So I could see that is Squall's time, so it probably wouldn't be Squall. Now, Warrior of Light, he was supposed to get one a little bit ago, and I think Warrior of Light is the type of character that they could drop right now, and he would still be a really nice pickup, and I think he would entice some players. So to me, I think this campaign banner, once again, could be some combination of Zach, Rex, and Warrior of Light. Maybe 2 out of those 3 characters, or maybe just one of those 3, and then slapping together another rerun character. I don't know, but what I will tell you is this. The campaign banner won't be like anything new. It's going to be reruns. That's what they are. So whatever it is, they have been doing double echo. So this campaign banner is going to be 2 BT echo characters smashed together. But I would say Zach, Rex, and Warrior of Light, those are kind of the 3 that are kind of dinging in my head is the highest pop probability, but could be literally anything. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're excited. And one more tidbit I'm going to throw out here. They are doing a very odd start time for the next community stream. It is September 21st, which is a Thursday. They never do this on a Thursday. And Joshua pointed out many times that there is a reason they're doing it, and he'll explain why later. The part I was frustrated with is he never told us when later is going to be. So my gut feeling is he's not going to tell us until the actual stream. And I don't want to get you guys all excited, and I'm not going to throw out the word global first because that's what everybody's going to jump to. What I'm going to say is I think there's going to be just some type of exciting announcement, and they have some reason that they want to do it early at that time. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say. And maybe one of you guys knows, I was racking my brain on my way home from work today, thinking like, what would be significant about September 21st? What is coming out around that time? You know, it's going to be like, 2 weeks after Ever Crisis drops. I don't know that there's anything significant with like 16. Maybe there's like something with Final Fantasy 14 going on. I don't know. But there's a specific reason, and it's making me think that they're probably, let me think here. So it could be tied to like what this is. I don't know. But there's something, I'm guessing whatever drops after this raid boss, because this is going to come out on the 20th, so this will be before the community stream. But my guess is like whatever's dropping directly after this is something that they want to make sure they announce before it drops in game. So like I said, I think there's some type of exciting announcement. I'm not going to assume global first. I feel like every time we get excited for that, we get disappointed. But maybe this is when they're announcing the next step at Crystal Room. Maybe they're going to implement Force Level 50. Maybe they're going to announce that they're aligning the games, right? Like, these are the types of things that I might be looking for. But once again, in the comments, let me know what you think the significance of this is. I think there's a lot of question marks here. I want to know what you guys all think about this stuff. I want opinions. I want to get some cool ideas. Maybe you guys know something that I don't. Maybe there's a way to logically think of like what these things are that maybe there's something I missed. But I feel like I broke down things as best as I could for what I thought. So let me know what you guys all think in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.